Bravely Default is finally back. It's beautiful and available on the newly released Switch 2. But is it even worth it? Let's talk about all the changes, the good, the bad, and the question everyone is asking. Did they fix that part of the game? Well, it's time to deep dive into Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remastered. So before we get into anything, I am honored to thank Square Enix for sponsoring today's video and providing a copy of Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remastered for the purpose of today's review. Thank you, Square Enix. You don't know how much this means to me. Bravely Default HD Remastered is a launch title for the Switch 2 and is currently exclusive at the time of this video. It costs $39.99 US and is available digitally or physically on a keycard only. I'm not thrilled about that last part, but it is what it is. I really need to make a video venting about that. But anyways, that's for a different day. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump right into today's video. So first and foremost, I want to let you know, as I've already reviewed the 3DS version of Bravely Default, this is not going to be a full review. This is more going to be focusing on the differences, enhancements, additions, and that age-old question, is it worth it? For both old fans of the game and people who might be playing it for the first time. If you do want to see the full review of Bravely Default, the video will be in the description below. But enough of that, let's get into it. So what even is Bravely Default? Well, Bravely Default is one of the first games done by Team Asano, the team that brought you Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. It is a turn-based JRPG with a job system incredibly similar to Final Fantasy V. The Brave and Default system is largely unchanged, with being able to Brave to spend multiple turns all at once and being able to defend or default to save up turns for later. It really made the combat stand out way back when it was originally released, which was in 2012. Bravely Default was a game meant to bring back the original feeling of Final Fantasy, and this is very apparent in the plot. The 4 elemental crystals have fallen to darkness, and as the 4 heroes of light, it's your responsibility to restore them. A very familiar presence that we've all experienced, but there are enough plot twists to keep it original, along with one infamous plot twist late in the game, which we'll talk about later. I don't want to go into any specifics because honestly, Bravely Default should be experienced as blind as possible. With that said, let's talk about the changes and upgrades that Bravely Default HD has to offer. So first of all, and the most obvious change, is the visuals. Seeing this game blown up to 4K from its old 240p 3DS original is mind-blowing to say the least. Everything looks amazing. The character models are cleaner, the environments are sharper, and the spell effects look gorgeous. The UI has been completely redone and looks cleaner. Honestly, it's pretty amazing how they've managed to take an originally dual screen UI and fit it all onto a single screen while making it still feel natural. However, one complaint I do have is about the battle user interface. When inputting commands, the user interface covers your characters. I kind of wish they just used the same interface they had for Bravely Default 2, because that worked perfectly. Oh well, minor grievance. Most of all, the frame rate has been substantially improved. However, this frame rate increase, while looking amazing in its own, some of the animations very clearly scream that this was originally a 3DS game. The thing that gets me is the talking animations. They feel so out of place, with the mouth moving, but there's no actual mouth hole, if that makes sense. Next, we're going to talk about the soundtrack. I've mentioned this time and time again on several different videos, but the soundtrack of Bravely Default is fantastic. And with this HD remaster, it sounds better than I ever could have imagined. The 46-song soundtrack is sublime and the thing of legends. Headlined by Revo of Sound Horizon, he may have quite possibly put the greatest soundtrack together for any type of media in existence. Every piece of music fits the mood perfectly and enhances the experience tenfold. You have the amazing gentle town themes to put you at ease, to themes that scream adventure, a battle theme that just screams triumph. Oh no, an enemy approaches? Followed by possibly the best boss theme ever conceived. Seriously, that of the name still gives me chills to this day. And I can't forget the beautiful character themes. Ring a Bell's Romantic Vagrant has been my alarm clock sound for the last decade or so, and I never get tired of it. The entire soundtrack appears to be enhanced, and it's one of those soundtracks that just never overstays its welcome. Beyond that, the English and Japanese voice acting returns unchanged. Every voice is just as you remember it, albeit enhanced to be clearer. I don't know if the voices are AI upscaled or if it's just because you aren't listening to it out of the dinky 3DS speaker anymore, but it sounds so much better than it did on the little handheld. If you haven't heard the soundtrack of this game yet, please do yourself a favor and go check it out. On Spotify, Apple Music, or even somewhere here on YouTube. Whatever your music provider of choice is, you will not be disappointed. It's peak audio, and I will not accept any disagreements on that. Before we talk about all the quality of life enhancements, I have to talk about the removed content. Yeah, unfortunately, Bravely Default HD has seemingly removed everything pertaining to the sequel, Bravely Second. This means that the entire Bravely Second mechanic has been removed, where you could spend SP gained by having the game in sleep mode to freeze time and deal damage that exceeds 9,999. Don't worry, there is still a mechanic to exceed 9,999 damage, but I'll talk about that shortly. Next, the post-game AR movie featuring Magnolia from Bravely Second has been removed, and the Nemesis enemies, part of the Norende minigame, have been moved. They're still in the game, don't worry about that. Originally on the 3DS, you could use Street Pass to build up Norende to get access to powerful equipment and fight super bosses, sent to you by other users or Square Enix themselves. These super bosses are no longer part of Norende, but are accessible via nightmare pillows you can obtain at the end of the game or in the post-game super dungeon. Honestly, I don't understand why Square Enix would remove all these aspects tying into Bravely Second. My assumption is there are no plans to remaster Bravely Second, which would be a shame, or possibly they just want Bravely Default to shine on its own. No idea really. And while I mention it, yes, the Street Pass feature is still in the game. It uses your friends list and various other NPCs. I don't know where they come from, but you can run into them in the town as passing souls. And you can actually pick the type of NPC that you appear as on the menu screen. It's kind of cool. I went with the fox because, well, he's a fox and he's adorable and we love him. All right, so let's move on to the quality of life changes and enhancements. First of all, the encounter rate customization. In the original Bravely Default on the 3DS, you could change the encounter rate from 0% all the way up to 200% right from the get-go. This has been changed to 50% to 200% initially. I've heard that this is due to the developers wanting to rebalance the beginning part of the game. Later on, the encounter rate can go anywhere from 0% up to an asinine 400%. These are tied to the new mini-games that use the Switch 2's mouse feature. There were two minigames added. The first is Luxembourg's Rhythm Cheer, which is a fun rhythm game where you can customize the outfits of your selected character and have them dance to one of 5 songs. The second minigame is Ring a Bell's Panic Cruise, where you have to pilot a ship and operate all the controls. I enjoyed them both, but was more akin to Rhythm Cheer. I just love the music and rhythm games as a whole. You can play them from the menu at any time, but you can't actually unlock rewards until you hit Florum in Chapter 2. Various rewards are like the Ward Bangle to set the encounter rate to 0%, or the Taunt Bangle to raise it to 400%. I will go ahead and say that while these seem like accessories, they're actually not. They're just key items. You don't have to equip them. Just by unlocking them, they unlock the ability to set it from 0% to 400%. You can also unlock the Limit Mark, a special move part to allow you to break 9,999 damage with your special moves. This is also how you unlock costumes and various accessories. I pretty much stopped after getting the Limit Mark and the encounter items myself. And lastly, some of the rewards actually reveal new lore in the series, mostly focusing on Alternus Dim and his story. I won't go into that because of spoilers, but it's kind of nice to have things fleshed out. As for things added, they added quality of life features from Bravely Second and Bravely Default 2. Combat loadouts have been brought over from Bravely Second. You can save up to 10 different job and equipment setups. You can now heal all by pressing plus on the menu, just like in Bravely Default 2. You have 3 different map views. At the adventure save points, you can use tents. Cutscenes can be sped up. There's a dash mode to make you move faster. And when it's a character's turn, they step forward so you know exactly whose action you're inputting. These are all incredibly welcome and speed up the pace of the game substantially. They also changed the name of a skill. They changed Big Pharma to Dark Cartel. I don't know exactly why they would do this. It's not really a big deal. But then they also changed the Lure Enemy skill. In the original Bravely Default on the 3DS, it just increased the encounter rate, which honestly was kind of pointless because you could already increase the encounter rate with or without it. Now when you equip Lure Enemy, it allows you to press ZR and instantly summon a battle, kind of like Yangus's whistle skill from Dragon Quest VIII. This is much more useful, especially when it comes to grinding. And now, I need to mention it since I know you're probably wondering. Unfortunately, the censorship from the US release is still intact. This means Ring a Bell's Eastern War Garb is censored, the Bravo Bunny and Bravo Bikini outfits have additional skin coverage, the Vampire class has the bodysuit under the belts, various enemies have minor modifications. Nothing has really been changed from the original localization, however, I have heard that the Japanese version is censor-free. It's a shame that we got the censored version, but it doesn't really bother me personally because it's all I know. But I can understand why some people might be upset about this. And now, it's time to talk about that part. For new players, feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp listed above as I'm going into spoiler territory. Don't worry, you won't miss any major details about the game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, you've been warned. So longtime fans, what up? Isn't this great? We have a remaster of a game we've been asking for ages. What a day to be alive. So, the back half of the game. Remember chapters 5 to 8? Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this is still exactly as you remember it. Yes, you still need to unseal the 20 crystals. Yes, you still need to fight the same bosses over and over and see the same cutscenes repeatedly. Granted, it feels a little bit faster with the added dash, but I was hoping they might rewrite the story in a way to prevent this. Or maybe added a new skip option with a brief overview. It's not the end of the world, and it only takes an hour or two at most if you don't refight all the asterisk battles, but it's still a shame and brings down an otherwise perfect game. Welcome back, new players! It's nice to see you again. So, who exactly is this remaster for? Well, it's perfect for people who never got the opportunity to play the original. If you've played Bravely Default 2 or Octopath Traveler and loved it, this game is going to be an amazing experience for you. Did you love the original and want to go back and enjoy an enhanced version of that? Then this will be a worthy pickup. And finally, if you're just getting into JRPGs but love customization or deep strategic turn-based combat, this is going to be a breath of fresh air for you. It's honestly a great game, but what if you've already played it? Is it worth playing again? Unfortunately, it is a Switch 2 exclusive, for now at least. I'm hoping it's a timed exclusive because this experience should not be locked to one console. But if you were going to get a Switch 2 anyways, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't pick this up alongside it. Easily the best launch title. However, I want you to keep in mind, the game is largely the same. There's no new content, it's purely visual and quality of life focused, though it is still worth it if you love the game and want to play it in a prettier format. This is the best way to replay it if you love the combat and goofiness. If you're looking for new content or just want to double dip for novelty purposes, it might be in your best bet just to wait for a sale. So there you have it, Bravely Default HD Remastered is a love letter to fans of the series, but it's also a great way to jump into the series for newcomers. It isn't necessary for returning fans, however, it is the best way to enjoy the game. So what do you think? Have you or are you planning to pick up Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD? Or are you upset about the fact that it's only available physically on a keycard? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed hearing all about Bravely Default and want more JRPG content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ding that notification bell so you don't miss any of my exciting JRPG coverage. If you're still here, you clearly like Bravely Default, so why not check out my full review of the 3DS version? This has been Shinky, thanks so much for watching, and until next week's video, have a wonderful day.